This is Love Marlene 411. Welcome to today's topic and discussion. Today, I wanted to talk to you all about loving yourself. It's something that's important for us to have these sort of conversations with ourselves. We always speak about self awareness over here. So let's talk about this a little bit. How to love yourself. Every single person is different, but every single person deserves to love themselves. And it's something that maybe we don't really think about, but when you have it taken away from you, or when people attempt to try to take away the love you have for yourself, this is where you have to be very protective. So I will start off by saying that we have to at least try. And every day is going to be different. And it's a journey for every single person. It's a lifelong thing. You never get to the highest potential of loving yourself, but it's so important to love yourself. So we're going to talk about some of these things, how to love yourself. First of all, you have to work on a relationship with yourself. That's how it starts. Just like you have relationships with other people, you have to learn to have your own relationship with yourself. It's the only way you can be successful at loving yourself. You have to pour some work into yourself, and it means that you may have to do some healing from excuse me, from some people who may have hurt you and done things to you. So no matter what you have been through in your life, no matter how many times people hurt you or did things to you, it's a work in progress. We're all different. We all go through situations, but it doesn't mean we can't learn. It's something we have to work and learn. First of all, who am I? Who are you as a woman? Who are you as a man? And learning to validate yourself, and it's not something that we can learn from a book. It's not something that other people can tell you, because every single person is different, wants different things. And the way one person wants to love themselves is not the way another person does. So it's an individual thing. You have to spend time by yourself, finding out what you like, what you want to do, what are your goals. Find out who you are and what you're about. And a lot of people never put in the work into learning who they really are and learning to love themselves. They look for that validation from parents and siblings, society, from money, when you have to validate yourself. It's a work in progress. Every day you wake up, and it's going to be different. You're going to have some days where you're really going to love yourself, and then you're going to have some times where you really don't. And that's when you're going to have to do some self reflection and remind yourself, I am worth it. I am capable of being loved. I am somebody. And I think that's the only way that it will ever work. We can't look to anybody, we have to look to ourselves. Hey, famous, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're doing amazing. And it's something that every single person is different, but it took me a really long time to get to the space of saying, I love myself. And even till today, anytime I talk about how much I love myself, I get choked up about it, because I didn't come from a space or a position where people around me loved themselves, or talked about, self love, or talked about how you should take care of yourself and all of those things. Yes, happy Wednesday. You're doing well. Yes, all is well over here, famous. And I'm glad it is for you too. Um, a lot of people do not talk about this topic of self love and learning to love themselves and the journey to love themselves and their personal growth and personal development because most people just want to make excuses and blame their situation, blame their parents, blame this person, blame that person, when it's all up to us. It's up to you as a man. It's up to you as a woman. It's up to me as a woman to make sure if I was not loved, if I wasn't taught how to love, that I go about doing the homework. You got to do some work on yourself. And it's not easy to look at yourself. And one of the things that I like to remind myself of is I'm not who somebody else wants me to be. And I want you to say that to yourself too. I'm not who anybody wants me to be. I'm myself. I'm a wonderful person. I'm worth it. I'm valued. Even when people can't see the value in you, you have to see the value in yourself. And I think that's very important to building a friendship with yourself. There's so many people who don't understand that you have to put in some work into learning to love yourself. It takes work. It takes time. It takes going through some things and reminding yourself, I'm still here. And even if everybody leaves me, even if people backstab me, even if people don't support me, I have myself, and that goes a long way. And anybody who knows if you've been through something and people have abandoned you, backstabbed you, left you, or not giving you love when you actually need it. You'll know what I'm talking about. When you go through something and you're still standing after the smoke clears, after the pain, after the hurt, after the disappointment, after the lack of support, and you look to yourself. I think that's something very important. It's a very important statement to say, even when people leave me, backstab me, hurt me, don't acknowledge me, don't give me what I need, I have myself. And I say that to all of my loved ones. Even when people leave you, disappoint you, hurt you, do all kinds of things to you, remember you have yourself. And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to have that sort of fulfillment, that sort of acknowledgement. And I like to remind myself all the time. I affirm, I reaffirm, I acknowledge, I love, I pat myself on the back. I'm patient with myself. And it's something that you learn as you mature, you learn as you heal. Take your time, get to know you. And it changes in different seasons of your life when you go through things. Like I had to learn that I love myself through all the seasons of my life. Where I had to learn to love myself when I was immature. I had to learn to love myself when I didn't have patience. I had to learn to love myself when people did not acknowledge me. And I had to remind myself, outside of everybody, before you can be anything to anybody, you have to be something to yourself. And that's a very important thing. You have to learn to acknowledge your own self. You have to learn to um, reflect on your worth, you know. And I know for myself, I came from a space where I was not acknowledged by the people around me. I didn't come from a functional, came from a very dysfunctional family unit where people didn't talk about feelings and emotions. There was not affection. There was no validation. There was not support. And I didn't feel secure enough within myself. And it's one of the reasons why many people seek friends, or they seek a romantic relationship, or they try to find their validation within things and money. But at the end of the day, when all of those things leave, You always are going to have yourself. And I think it's important to look at yourself in the mirror and to validate your own self, regardless of who's in my life, regardless of the ebbs and the flows in your life. Sometimes you have to slow down on, and take a deep look at yourself and acknowledge, okay, that was not the best decision to make, but because I love myself and because I'm mature enough, I can say to myself, you need to do better than this right here. And then you may have seasons of your life where people may leave you, abandon you, and backstab you. And these are the times where you have to remind yourself, I'm not a bad person. Some people just don't deserve to have me in their life. So you don't stop feeling loved because people don't love you. Whoever has been through something in their life would actually understand exactly what I'm talking about. When people don't support or love or treat you, or if you want to be in a relationship and you can't find somebody, sometimes people will feel that they are not enough because they don't have friendships, or they don't have romantic love, or they don't have the right job or career or their money. And that has nothing to do with the love you should have for yourself. And some people are fickle. They're really weird and strange. Some people only love you when things are good, when it's easy, when it's a party or a celebration. But I'm talking about true love, people who truly love you through all the seasons of your life. I've always found that I find out who my real circle of people are when I'm going through something. And that's when you become your strongest, in those seasons of pain, hurt, loss, or the season of restart. And I want to talk about that for a little bit. Um, Learning to love yourself in a reset. And for me, a reset happened in my life after I had a few people in my life pass away. And I had to find out who I was without them. And it can happen too, in the loss of a romantic relationship, or the loss of a friendship or a job. You start to really think about your life and who are you outside of those people. And I had to do some work on my inside, work on finding out who I was. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in who we are in a relationship, who we are with a group of people, or who we are based on where we live or how we look and our health. But to the core of us, our essence, our soul, and our spirit is tied into who we say we are. And validating that, validating, regardless of my situation, regardless of my health, regardless of my monetary status, I still am enough. I'm still somebody remarkable. And I want to bring that to all of the loved ones and to have this conversation, because sometimes we don't feel we are valid because we don't have a lot of this. You don't have a lot of money, or you don't have a lot of things, or you're not where you want to be in your life. It does not make you unloved. And it's a gift that you have to give to yourself. And it's going to be different. Some days you're not going to feel loved. Some days you're going to feel like you're a failure. You're going to feel like you're not accomplished, or what am I doing with my life? But let me tell you something. No matter what, that has to come from in here, deep within your inside. It's something you have to acknowledge, you have to validate, and you have to work on yourself and how you learn to love yourself. And I'll tell you, ask me how I know. It's because when people leave your life, or when people don't give you love in your love language, or you feel alone or depressed, or you're going through some situations in your life, is when you really learn to step into, you know what? I want people in my life. I wish I had people in my life, but sometimes you have to learn to be strong and say, I possess all the love I need within myself. Don't look for your love within other people or things. And it's easy to get ourselves wrapped up in that sometimes. Get wrapped up in, oh, I'm not in a relationship, and a lot of people make you feel that way if you're not around healthy minded individuals. When you're around toxic people or drama people, they will make you feel like you're less than because you don't have X, Y, and Z, whatever it is. But you're not less than because you don't have something. That's the time for us to do some reflection, and to, maybe it's your time to shift. Maybe what you were doing was not good for you and you got released from it, and now that you're free, now you can really get into what raises your vibes, your energy, what brings you peace, because it probably wasn't working from the beginning. But sometimes we have forced relationships, we forced things, and they were never good for us. So take it from somebody who learned from, forcing people to stay in my life, trying to force something that just was not working. So if you get a freedom and escape, especially if, a breakup, or a friend who is not really a friend, I call them frenemies. So you thought they were a friend, but they're actually an enemy. You're not less because they didn't value you. I want to remind everybody of that, you know. So, getting back into talking about how to love yourself, it's important that that comes from in here, and you're actively doing things to prove it to yourself. It's more than self-care, but don't get me wrong. Self-care is a part of love. And self-care is not just that alone time and peace and serenity, but it is a part of it. To love ourselves, we have to give ourselves that time. I need time to work on my physical health. I need time for my mental health, my spiritual health. I need time to process things, but also you deserve to take care of yourself. And a lot of us, ladies and gentlemen, will be so busy with our families and adulting that we start to neglect ourselves. Either we'll put on weight or we'll lose weight. We're not take care of ourselves the way we need to. We're not going to the doctor. We're not checking on our health. We're not doing a lot of things that we need to do that shows that we actually do love ourselves. So I did want to say that to everybody. When you love yourself, you will make time for yourself. And it does not have to be in hours and hours of time. But for me, I start my day, the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes of my day, I always spend some time loving on myself. Let me see. Let me put you as a moderator. Hey, friends with super channels, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And that's something that I always, it changes. As I've matured, I've learned that the way that I loved myself when I was a teenager is not the way that I love myself now, because I'm a different person. Um, Part of loving yourself is learning to validate yourself. It's learning to speak up for yourself and to also give yourself some tough love. Um, when you go through some situations, sometimes you have to step back for a little while and acknowledge, okay, I did not do what I needed to do in that relationship. I allowed a lot of negativity. I was a part of the problem instead of a part of the solution. So that is a part of loving yourself, is growing it, and your personal development, acknowledging your role, being accountable for what you're not doing, but also to encourage yourself when you are doing well. And I think the majority of the population does not acknowledge themselves when they do something good. They are looking for their romantic relationship, their relatives, other people to validate themselves. And whether it's a small thing or it's a big thing, celebrate yourself. Okay? Don't wait for your whoever to acknowledge you. I will have a self party in a minute. I'll go out and I'll get myself some balloons. Also do a party for myself, because every single person has their own battles, and your battle is not mine, mine is not yours. Some people go through some similar battles, but it's never going to be the same. Some people just don't know what you go through on a regular basis, mentally, financially, physically, and just all kinds of things that happens in between that, mixed in with a relationship, mixed in with kids, bills, so on and so forth. So there's all of those things. We have to find our own a safe place, our own foundation, because I know for myself, I didn't grow up knowing how to love myself. Okay. I didn't grow up, saying that out loud. I validate me. I am somebody special. I can do great things. I'm proud of myself. And for me, that was a major part of learning that I was loved. Before, I used to be all in the streets looking for love from a romantic relationship, looking for love from a friend, or looking for a job to say, okay, I have money. So because I have money, yes, love is money is a protection, it's a covering. We need it to survive. But I think before, for me, I was looking to money to say, because I have money, that means that I'm loved. And a lot of people, they look to money as a sort of God, as a sort of grand, great thing. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I need money. I like money. But at the end of the day, I had to learn that always chasing the money and never spending it, on the things that I need to, because we'll be so busy being an adult and taking care of everybody and giving our money to your kids, this person, that person, paying bills, being responsible. Yeah, part of loving yourself is giving yourself the permission to say, I deserve a vacation. I deserve a day off. I deserve to buy something I've been wanting to buy. And that used to be hard for me, because I didn't grow up that way. I grew up always being a person to give to everybody, but I didn't grow up giving to myself. And I had to learn that you don't have to feel guilty because you want to buy something for yourself. It's okay. You can treat yourself. Don't feel guilty, because there's always going to be things that need to be bought. There's always going to be people who have their hand out and want something, and you don't have to do it. I give myself at least, every few months, I buy myself something that I want, because I work hard and I deserve to do that because I love myself. So that, I think that's an important part of today's discussion, is to say that in loving yourself, you also have to say, I deserve to do things for me without feeling guilty. And I don't know who needs to hear it, but I didn't grow up I've seen people take care of themselves, so I didn't think it was something important. So whoever needs to hear that, take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And I want to talk about right now, loving yourself means taking care of your mental health. Okay. Um, Boy, I could talk about this for several hours, but my mental health used to be really messed up. When you're around individuals and their mental health is not in a good space, They're very angry, they're drama filled, they like to start trouble, they make you feel anxious. I had to learn that because I care for people does not give people the right to disrupt my peace, disrupt my mental health, disrupt me from my goals and my focus in my life. I had to learn within myself to be strong and to speak up for myself. I don't have to tell anybody my business because I love myself. So you deserve to walk in silence and to mind your own business and to do the things that you want to do, the things that you need to do for you. And whoever needs to hear it, to any of my loved ones, I want you to give yourself the permission to live your life on your terms. That's what it means to love yourself. That's what it means to me. I had to learn to love myself on my terms. What do I want to do? And to pat myself on the back and to remind myself I can do it. I believe in me. I deserve to do great things, but then you have to go for it and not just talk about it, but you have to be about it. And I think that's when my life changed. When before I used to be a person who used to talk about my life. I used to be a person to say what I wanted, talk about my goals and this and the future, but I wouldn't do anything. I don't know who is like that. I was an avid procrastinator, and I had to learn that because I love myself, I deserve to follow through and finish it from the beginning to the end. And it was up to me to change that. And I didn't see that. I grew up in a family of procrastinators. So, of course, I had those habits, but I had to change that. I had to start make being better with time management. I had to learn to plan. And for me, all of this applies to learning to love myself. If you love yourself, that means keep your word, be a woman or a man of that can be trusted, you know, be kind to others, but don't be too kind that you get yourself backstabbed or you let people run over you. It really is a balance, learning to love others but love yourself at the same time. And for me, I never heard this anywhere, but it's a conclusion that I came to on my own. I had to learn I love myself, but not when it's going to be at the sacrifice of me not doing the things that I need to do, or it would disrupt my mental health or stop me from paying my bills. If it stops anything or it disrupts my clarity, it distracts me from my focus and what I want to do for my life, then it's just not going to work. I no longer allow it, and I used to before. And I know that there are a lot of people who are like me that had a hard time saying no. I had a hard time saying no to my relatives, okay? Family, quote unquote. I did. I had a hard time telling them no. And it was because of the mind games. Um, because people get so used to you always saying yes that they don't even ask you if you want to do something, if you can do it. It's like they're forcing you. They're telling you, okay, I'll see you tomorrow and we're going to do this and you're going to do this for me. When they didn't ask you, they're basically telling you. So for me, in learning to love myself, I had to start speaking up for myself and telling people no, and that I don't like X, Y, and Z that they do, and they're not going to no show on me or show up late or only call me when they want something. I had to apply healthy to myself first, and I had to learn to define what was healthy for me, what didn't I like, and then also applying it like, okay, I don't like for people to do this to me, so I'm not going to do it to others too. You have to not only say what you don't like, but you have to enforce it. And the ones that just want to do what they want to do, they're blocked. I don't go around them. I don't tell them my business. And that was so key to my mental health, to my peace, to having calm in my life, because I used to be a person who used to be so anxious. But for me, I'm not saying for everybody, for me, my anxiety came from the people who always would trigger me. When they were around, they made me angry. They were rude. They said whatever they wanted to say. They would hurt my feelings. And I learned as an adult, because I love myself, I can't make them do the right thing. But what I can do is stop allowing them to get in my head. I had to learn to stop letting them disrupt my peace. And I think that that's something important. Don't let people disrupt your peace. Don't let anybody stop you from being happy, from going after your goals. And we can get off track from our potential. We can get off track from loving ourselves the way that we deserve. We really can. I know I did for many, many years. I got off track trying to please my family, trying to please a job, trying to please the person you're in a relationship with, and they don't care about you, you know? So that was that. I'm just speaking for myself, and maybe this applies to somebody else, but I used to care more about how other people felt and never care about how I felt. Like, I would be upset. Sometimes I would be crying because they wouldn't show up. They wouldn't show me they wouldn't show up for me. They wouldn't show me support. They didn't check on me. But yeah, I kept doing things for them and showing up for them and being kind and loving. So when we talk about setting boundaries when it comes to being kind and love, we can't put show love through rose colored glasses. When you see that something is dysfunctional, something is upsetting you, someone is upsetting you, you have the power to change that. You have the power to cut off those people, to not tell them your business, to not go around them, all of those things. Thank you, Friends with Super Channels. She says, great topic. And that's something that a lot of us don't understand, that we have the power to change our life. We have the power to love ourselves to the best ability possible. We're not perfect. Some of us may not be rich, but you can have your peace. You can go after your goals. It's never too late. And I will say, for me, learning to love myself, it was giving myself the permission to thrive, giving myself the permission, the go ahead, that don't wait for people to say you can do something. Don't wait for people. If you want to do something, go for it. And I did that for many years, waiting for this person or that person, or wanting to be in a relationship before I would go on this trip or to do something. Or if somebody said something was stupid, I would listen to them. But if something is your talent, if it's something that you're good at, there will always be people who will never support you. And they don't support you because they don't see the value in it, because that's not their lane, that's not their goal. And I had to leave those things behind. I had to leave some of those people behind, because you will stop yourself from being happy. You will stop your peace. You will stop yourself from feeling whole and going and using your talents. I believe 100% that there are blessings that is out there for every single person. It's yours, but you have to grab hold of it. And then with that blessing, with that gift, it comes a responsibility to do something with it. Don't waste your talents. Don't waste your gifts. Don't waste your potential because other people don't see your bright light, or other people just aren't you. And I say that because some people just don't think you're worth it. And it will be the people who will be right in front of your face. They'll be smiling in your face, talking about how much they love you and how much they're here for you, and they really aren't. They're not here for you. Actually, the people smiling in your face sometimes are your biggest haters. It's the people who are the most jealous. Yeah, it's crazy because you would never believe that. Hold on one second, guys. Allergies. Sometimes it's the ones that are there smiling in your face, talking about how much they care about you and love you and all of those things, and they'll be the first person to backstab you. They'll be the first ones to try to sabotage your success or talk about you behind your back. But I had to learn to have thicker skin and to not let people get to me. I had to remind myself that this is my life and it's my choice as to how I live it. Am I going to let the negativity, will you let the naysayers, will you let the haters, will you let the judgmental people? And this one was the biggest part that stopped me from loving myself in the best way possible, is not allowing the insecurities of other people to stop me from living my life. A lot of people are insecure about certain things, and especially when you're living your best life, you're taking care of your health, you're taking care of your finances, you're doing what you want to, you're living your life, having fun. Hey, James Money, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. You're living your life in the best way possible. It can be tough to deal with people who are very insecure, but I had to learn to stop letting people and their insecurities stop me. Awesome, you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. Happy Wednesday to you and to all of the loved ones. I had to learn to stop letting other people's insecurities come into mine. Okay, don't let people who are insecure about whatever it is, they're insecure about whatever, don't let them stop you from doing what you want to do. And this is just a confirmation to an acknowledgement to all of my loved ones. Whatever it is that you're going through in your life right now, I mean, today, if you're struggling with something, I want you to remind yourself today, I love myself and I'm going to get through this. When I'm feeling low or when I lack the support, we have to draw that love from our inside. Okay. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you have a good family unit, you have to cheerlead yourself. You have to be your number one supporter. Don't look for another person to support you. And it's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice when people do show you love and do check on you and do nice things. But what I'm saying is we have to do it for ourselves first. And that's something that I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm grateful at the end of the day that I know how to say, you need to sit down. You need to take a break. It's time for a vacation. It's time to go to your doctor's appointments. It's time for you to check on your own mental health. So you have to know what you need and then have enough courage to do something about it. That's what I will say about learning to love yourself and how to love yourself is you have to know what you need, and it changes as you mature, as you get to know yourself. When I was younger, what I needed to learn the most was learning to just not let other people get to me. And that used to be a big problem for me because a lot of people don't believe it, but the people who know, know. I had a major anger problem, and it was because I did not take injustice well. If somebody did something to me, I was going to jack you up. Okay. I was going to fight. I was a fighter. I used to fight all the time. I was always in trouble, getting in fights in school, getting in fights with my relatives. I was always arguing, screaming. I was an angry bird. Okay. But I had to learn to stop giving people my power and my energy. Once I learned that, and once you all learn that, it changes you because you can't let other people get to you, especially the ones that they really don't matter. We give people too much power over our mind. We acknowledge them more than we should. And yeah, there are people in our life and we can care about them, but you have to ask yourself, but do they show up? Do they validate me? Do they love me? Are they giving me? Are they matching my energy? Are they matching my vibes? Are they supporting me like I support them? And if they're not, then that means it's time for you to pause. Okay, pause and really be honest with yourself. And the majority of adults are not honest with themselves. They'll tell themselves, because it's easier to believe this beautiful lie than the real truth, the honest truth. And sometimes the honest truth is that the people that we love do not love us back. Okay, I'll just say it that way. There's people in our life that we can say we love them, but they have a lot of issues that they need to work on and they need to heal. And just because a person is an adult, it does not make them mature. It does not make them good for us. It doesn't mean we need to be around them. There's a lot of people that we've been needed to cut off relationships with them because that's the reason why we can't love ourselves fully, because they don't love themselves. And if somebody does not love themselves, it will take away from how much we can love ourselves and how much we can pour into ourselves and our creative energy, and just us having peace and smiling. And when you're around individuals that are always angry, always screaming, always fussing about something, always complaining, it starts to get to you. So that's one of the biggest things that I will say in learning to love myself. I had to learn to cut people off. I had to learn that, I know you're my relative and everything, but I can't deal with you because you're immature, you're toxic, you're disrespectful, and we can't expect for people to change, but we can choose, we can change, and we can make a choice. And that's what I wanted to say to everybody, for this conversation, that we have the right to choose. We have the right to make better choices. We have the right to choose to love ourselves. We have the right to choose to walk away if anything isn't is toxic. If people are not respecting our boundaries, if people don't pour into us, if people are only with all the time their hand out, wanting, 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 just because somebody wants either your time, your money, your whatever, it doesn't mean you have to give them that. I had to learn that as a woman and a reformed people pleaser, that I have to please myself first. I have to fill up my own cup. I have to use my talents and my gifts. I need to take care of myself before I'm jumping up to support other people. And I had to learn to do that. I had to learn that I can do that without feeling guilty. And sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, people will try to rush you and force you. Why? How come you can't do it now?" Don't let people control you. You have to take your control back. And I'm grateful that I'm in this space now in my life as a woman, and that I have come into maturity. I've come into being aware of my power. I've come into not letting other people's insecurities control me, okay? Don't let people who are insecure, who don't love themselves, who don't know who they are, and also people who don't know what they're talking about, because people love to give advice about things that they have never experienced. They have never walked in your shoes. They don't have your life. Um, and something that I have to say in this discussion is talking about traumas. I think every single person has had some level of trauma, but with all of it, I had to tell myself no matter what I have been through in my life, I'm still here. You're still here, loved ones. And I'm so proud of you because it's easy to give up with this life. It's easy to let the outside get inside of ourselves and we will question ourselves. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? I don't have what they have. You don't have to have what anybody else has. You have yourself. And it's a reminder, I'm reminding you as well as myself that I'm enough enough and you're worth it. Okay. And we do have to on a day-to-day basis every day we have to affirm. I'm definitely a person who believes in speaking over my life, talking over your life, manifesting things. And if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't speak with confidence, if you don't enforce what you say, this is what I'm going to do, and then making your plan and doing it. First, you have to be mature. First, you have to be responsible. Work on your time management and don't allow the outside. You have to off that white noise. You have to block it out because this is your life. And at the end of the day, you have to say how your life is going to be. It's not how your parents, it's not how your ancestors, your neighbors, anybody on social media. Everybody's life is different. And I'm happy to be able to say that I don't have to be anybody but myself. And I say that to you all too. You don't have to be anybody but yourself. You don't have to force anything. Don't force relationships. Don't force people to be in your life. Don't force people to support you. What is meant to be for you will be. And just saying that, and not only saying it but believing it, what is meant to be for me will be. Nothing can stop my vibes. Nothing can stop my energy. Nothing can stop my positivity. I believe in me. I have the wherewithal. I have the bandwidth. I have the strength from within because I'm enough. And when you're going through something, when you're dealing with something, you need to remind yourself, I'm strong and I'm doing a great job. And I want you to do that to yourself too. Pat your own self on the back. Don't wait for somebody to pat you on the back and tell you you're doing a good job. You have to tell yourself as a woman or as a man, I'm doing a great job. I'm proud of myself, okay? I'm my own best friend. And when we're our own best friend, that's when sometimes when we love ourselves, not sometimes, all the time, we have to tell ourselves, I love myself, and that means I have to make some hard decisions. I think that's a major part of loving yourself is making good decisions for you, not just making decisions for the people who are around you. And for myself, sometimes that good decision is not going places where you won't be seen and loved and validated. If you feel like you're going to be talked about or you feel uncomfortable or you're judged, then don't go. Okay, it just came back, my screen. Okay, it just came back, my screen got black for a second. But it's back. But I did want to say that to everybody. Make sure you are taking care of yourself and loving yourself. Okay, love yourself, whatever that takes for you. And like I said, it's a journey for the rest of your life. It's a journey to learn yourself. Okay, it's a journey. So do what you need to. Give yourself the permission to heal whether that means a therapy, a counseling, coaching, whether it means blocking people for your mental health, for your financial health, for your spiritual health, um, giving yourself the permission to accomplish a goal and go for something that you want to do, then do it. Go for it. Okay. It's worth it at the end of the day. You need to be proud of yourself, and don't wait for people to be proud of you. You be proud of yourself every day, that I give myself the permission to be happy. I give myself the permission to heal. I give myself the permission to go for my goals. I give myself the permission to seek opportunities. I just give myself the permission to have healthy relationships with people that I love and people that are my associates, healthy relationships, not toxicity. And that's a very important part of learning to love yourself, is finding out if this is healthy or is this toxic, and then making a decision either to continue to cut it off or to continue that healthy relationship. Remember to be your own friend. Remember to pour into yourself. Fill up your own cup and do what you need to do for your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's everything that I want to talk about in learning to love yourself. I hope that there's somebody who actually needed to hear this, that they heard something um, that helped them. Because sometimes we can feel alone. I know sometimes that's how I feel. I feel alone in my problems, that I'm the only one going through this, no matter what it is. Sometimes you will feel lonely. Sometimes you'll feel discouraged. Sometimes it's frustration, it's anger, it's people who get on your nerves. But at the end of the day, you have to learn to be patient with yourself and learn what you need that moment and that day, and then do that for yourself. Okay. And make sure you're getting a vacation, you're working on your mental health, you're working on you. And one of the most important things when we talk about loving ourselves is making sure you're healing the inside of you. Before you knew who you were, you are working on healing that part of your soul, okay? Your inside, that you have to live with for the rest of your life. Situations happen to us in our life, but it does not have to control us. Don't let a trauma, don't let some hurtful words that people said, for people who hate themselves. Don't let hateful people stop you from loving yourself. Don't let hateful people stop you from going for your goals, for believing in yourself, for being confident and going for what you want to do with your life. At the end of the day, it's your life, and you have to make a choice how you want to live it. Do you want to live your life and be happy? Do you want to have peace? Okay. Do you want to? So it's all of those things. So that's what I wanted to come on and to say to everybody. Live your life, be happy, be at peace, and have joy. And it's a responsibility as a woman or as a man, that if you don't love yourself, if you don't feel love for yourself, for you to go about doing something about it. Life is too short to not spend one day. Life is too short to not spend one day not loving yourself. Don't let people on the outside, people on social media, your relatives, don't let other people stop you from loving yourself. Don't let anybody disrupt your peace. Don't let anybody stop you from your goals, because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you got to look at your own self in the mirror and say, this is me, this is my life, and I love myself because I'm enough. And I want you all to say that to yourself too. I love myself because I'm enough. I'm not who I was. I'm not my circumstance. I'm not what other people want me to be. I'm just myself. And I acknowledge that, and I love myself for everything I can do, for everything that I can be. So I'm giving you all that, you know, this knowledge, this encouragement, and reminding you all for everything, for the highs and the lows, for the negative people, for the naysayers, for the jealous people, the controlling people. Don't let them in here. Don't let them get in your mind. Don't let them control you. Okay? You have to be in control of what you think about yourself. You have to be in control. Take your power back and say, this is my life. Don't let people aggravate you. You don't have to respond to them. You can walk in silence. You can be minding your own business. You can be as happy as you want to be, but it's your choice. Just like it was my choice, and I made a choice to love myself. I made a choice to have peace. I made a choice to go for my goals. I made a choice to be confident, and I made a choice to stop caring what other people think and to care more. But what do I think? How am I living my life? Am I living the life that I love? Because other people will be out there miserable, angry, all those things. Let them be that way. Don't let anybody stop you from your peace, your joy, your light, your talents, your shine. It's yours, but it's up to you. Okay? Okay. Friends with Super Chance says, love the topic. We are enough. Yes, we are, Gio. We are enough. And everybody in here, you are enough. Amen. Friends with Super Channel says, you said a lot. Who cares what people think? They need to get some. Yes, a lot of people who think that they know you. And what it is that some people just want to have a back and forth because they're so angry. They want to transfer their negative energy onto you. Don't let them have it. Don't see sometimes when people want to argue with you, the best thing that you can do, and you know what I'm going to say, the best response is no response. And I know because sometimes we don't want to always be the good person. We want to tell people off. We want to cuss people out. We want to get back at people. But trust me, confuse people. Choose to be kind, choose to be loving. Don't lower yourself to other people's level because that's what they want. If you're up here, don't go down here. Stay up here. Keep your vibes high, keep your energy high. Know your worth and your power. You're deserving. Okay. Yes. So yeah, they need to get some business, and they don't. And that's the point, Gio, is that a lot of people don't have any business. They don't have any life. So they're all up in yours. And what it is that when people see that you're happy with your life, you're happy with your family, you went out and you went for your goals and your dreams, or you have the courage to be yourself, and especially when people like you. And I speak to everybody, when you make a choice to heal, and I'm telling you, it's not easy to make a choice to heal because sometimes you just want to bam, hit people right in their nose or their throat or in their stomach or something. You want to bring people hurt and pain because they try to hurt you. Don't worry. What goes around comes around. What people do in the dark, it will always come to the light. They can rip off, they can lie, they can backstab, they can talk about you. Let them, because you know who you are. You know what you're worth. You know what you can do. So leave them behind in the dust. They are irrelevant. They're irrelevant. They don't matter. Don't give them the energy. Don't even make a response. You're not worth it. What's worth it is keep your own mental health. Remind yourself, when I go through situations like that, I like to remind myself, they're trying to take my power, they're trying to take my light, they want to argue with me. I'm not going to argue because I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. And people who want to go to the side and get on their side and believe what people will say about you in a negative way, that's a gift for you. That's a blessing. Okay? It's a blessing. Okay? You don't need those people in your life anyway. So if they believe it, you don't have to convince them of your worth and your light and how wonderful you are. You know that already. So Go and believe in yourself. Leave those people alone. Let them be miserable and angry because your life can't go to the level that you want it to go to. Okay? You can't, your life can't be at peace. You can't have happiness. You can't heal. You can't have joy when you're around people who don't love themselves. So learn to love yourself. Learn that you're enough. Don't let people control you. Know your worth, okay? I'm Marlene of Love Marlene 411. And on this channel, we talk about the relationship we have with ourselves because when we learn to heal and love ourselves, we can show up happy, healed, and healthy in our relationships with others, your children, spouse, significant other, your friends, okay? Anybody human that you encounter, because that love will transfer from one person to the other. I'm Love Marlene 411. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody who is in here. My amazing mods, friends with super channels, rooted in essential oils, and anybody who watches on the replay. I appreciate you all so much. Love yourself, everybody. Work on you. Heal. Be happy. Go for your goals. Be confident. Show up for yourself and be your best. Because when you learn to love yourself, you can love others in a healthy way. This is Love Marlene 411, and I'm out. Bye, guys. See you on the next one.